What's good, everybody? I hope that everyone is having a lovely Saturday. If nobody don't know who I am, my name is RJ, and pretty much I'm a mother who has been in the massage industry for about 12 years. I'm currently going to be a stay-at-home mom. What I've been doing lately is working on my credit journey, and I wanted to share a few things with you guys when it comes to knowing the 5 factors that can affect your credit score. And the reason for me sharing this is because these are my experiences that I have went through this journey that I've been going through. So I don't want to make this video too long or not too short, but I also wanted to break down what is important. So if you guys are working on your credit at this point, these are the things you need to understand, and also make sure that you are currently working on or try to make better during your credit journey. Okay, so that's one thing for sure. We got to know that your credit score isn't magic, it's math. Okay, so once you understand the 5 factors that shape your score, you can gain real power over your financial future. Let's break it down clearly in so you'll understand why this is so important when you are fixing your credit. Okay. Um, so we have the 5 factors at glance, right? So your first factor would be your payment history. That is the biggest factor. And the reason why I say this is because during the years that I've been working on my credit has been on and off. And I'm not one of those perfect people, but I feel like since I'm going through all this and I have experienced all these things, it will be perfect for you guys to understand that this is very important, and that you want to make sure that any payment history that you do have, um, you want to keep it current. Try to keep all your payments, um, up to date. Do not try to fall behind, because if you fall behind, your credit score will drop. I promise you. One late payment can bring it down to. For me, I have experienced about 10 to maybe almost down to 50 points. So it's 35 percentage. Okay. Your second part of it is your credit utilization. So it's always going to be 30%, right? So it's going to be how much you use, right? So how much have you used on your credit? Depending on what type of lenders that you guys have, please believe me that if you use a little bit too much of your utilization, but let me get something straight about this utilization. Do understand that nowhere, and I will eventually share another video, but nowhere in the FCRA it tells you anything about credit utilization. This whole system, it confuses you, right? So because you don't know. So for those who don't know, do understand that this credit utilization could be a major factor. You have step three is the length of history. So you have to understand 15% of the age counts, right? So if you have lenders that you've been with for like over 2 years or over a year, that's going to give you about 15%. Okay, so 15% of that means that you want to make sure that you have great history with them. And then also you want to have a credit mix. So there's types of credit that you want to have that makes up 10%. And then you have another one which is new credit, which makes another 10%. That's your recent applications that you currently might have or that you had applied for new lenders. So we're gonna keep scrolling. So, like I was saying, factor one is 35%. So you have your payment history, right? So let's see how this all go about. So payment history is a single most factor in your credit scoring. So you want to make sure that this is 35% of your total score. But what can count against you is having late or missed payments, having accounts sent to collections, charge offs. That means it's unpaid debts that's been written off by lenders. That's another story to talk about, because again, I know so much that I really want to start sharing. Bankruptcies and judgments can be a big factor. So every on-time payment you make strengthens this factor. Every late payment, collection account, or even charge-off chips it away. Even one missed payment can give a significant drop, and I'm telling you, it can really, really, really affect you. Because I can use one example of a company called, which is Mohila. I think it's a server, which is student loan. And at this time, I didn't even know who they were, and they were the only ones that really were affecting my credit. And from there, for like the last few months, they had, not now because it's current now, but they were reporting late payments, and that kept letting my letting my points drop. And understand that late payments can be a big factor. So do understand that. So the takeaway from this situation is, one, you want to make sure that you're paying on time every time. It's the single fastest way to protect and build your credit. So the more that you're paying on time, the better you off, because now your score is going to jump each month. Okay, so that's one factor that I want to share with you. The second factor was your credit utilization. So that's number two. That makes up 30%. So remember, I was saying that credit, your utilization measures how much of your available credit you're currently using. So if you have a credit card, so let's say you have a credit card and you got maybe $3,500 on it, right? You want to make sure that you do not. I tell people, 30% is cool, but you even want to keep it lower than 30%, because it just doesn't look right to other lenders. Let's say you try to apply for a credit card, you try to apply for a personal loan. Again, that personal loan, um, if you try to apply for a personal loan, they'll look at that and they might not really qualify you for a higher limit or a high limit in that loan, because you have a very high utilization. Understand this. This is not an FCRA, but I will share another video on that. So, um, how it's calculated is by dividing the total balances by your total credit limits across all revolving accounts. So, this is how that this whole 30% is actually calculated based on so-called what the CRAs are saying this will be, right? So how would you lower your utilization? For one, you want to pay down any existing balances. You want to make sure you request a credit limit increase on existing cards. Later on in the future, you want to avoid maxing out any single card, or even total. Even if you total is low. So you don't want to take a card and max it out, because I'm telling you, it's going to make your utilization go up, and it can make your points go down. So make multiple payments per month to keep balances low. Okay, so the safe zone is to keep utilization below 30% to avoid hurting your credit. And the ideal target is to make sure that you keep it under 10%. You guys, this is so important. Keeping it under 10% will help you later on in the future. So the length of credit history. So your factor is 15%. That's number three. So the longer your credit history, the more data lenders have to evaluate your behavior, and that's a good thing. The length of credit history accounts for 15% of your score, and considers the age of your oldest account, your newest account, and average age of your accounts. So one, you want to keep old accounts open. Okay, I know this sounds crazy, but you really want to. You want to have patience and make sure it's paid off, and you also want to be like a authorized user boost, right? So adding like being as an AU on somebody, like from somebody's family, friends. This can be a long standing. So well managed account can add a positive history to your credit profile. Do understand that patience pays off. So this is a factor you can't rush. The timely is literally the ingredients, what I call it, right? The best strategy is to open accounts thoughtfully, and let them age gracefully without closing them. Because sometimes when you do close your accounts, what I learned, when you do that, it can kind of take away the age, right? So if you do try to apply for something new, the age literally will be taken away, and then lenders will kind of be like, they don't have enough credit, or they don't have enough credit limits to to allow us to even give them more or give them anything. So those are my experiences. Factor four, you want to make sure that you have a credit mix. Now, something that I had learned through the years is making sure that your student loans, your mortgage loans, your installment loans, and your revolving credits are something is something you want to have diverse, because lenders will be able to see, like, okay, this person, now this is 10% of this, but they will see that this person can have many accounts and they can pay their stuff. So all this matters of the five factors, right? So remember, the credit mix accounts of 10% of your score, and it reflects the variety of credit types you manage. Lenders like to see that you can, responsibly handle different kinds of credit. not just credit cards, but also installment loans like auto or personal loans. So if you have any autos, make sure that those are on time. If you have any personal loans, make sure that that's put on there. So I always sometimes try to go with the littlest amounts, right? That can create some type of credit mix. Like, okay, cool, I have this, maybe Kickoff or I have Ava, but you want to make sure that you have a mix of everything, so then people can kind of trust you, right? The lenders can trust you that they can give you something. So the last thing that I wanted to share was the last one was 10% is the new credit. So you do have to understand that every time you apply for new credit, the lenders perform a hard inquiry on your report. This can temporarily lower your score by a few points. Let me clear this up. First of all, if you have an inquiry and let's say you decided that you wanted to apply for a new credit card or whatever, you can get that taken off. So do not stress yourself off on when it comes to the hard inquiry, but um, it does have a big effect on when you are applying. So that's just something I want to share. Okay, this is all from my experiences. Okay, this is all I'm sharing. So new credit accounts for 10% of your score tracks both recent inquiries and newly open accounts. So understand that hard inquiries can be triggered when you apply for new credit. So always remember that the rate shopping expectation, multiple inquiries for the same type of loan. It could be mortgage, auto within a short window, typically 14 to 45 days, are usually counted as one single inquiry by scoring models. So it can be, but again, this can still affect your credit. Sometimes when you go, what I have learned is when you go and you apply for a new application, sometimes it can drop your score or sometimes it can boost your score. What I have learned is that with mines, I have seen a boost, but I didn't see, because I made the first payment. So now they're reporting a positive payment along with, hey, this is a new account, this is a new age account, and this is what this person has been giving us since they opened their account. And then you have the smart application strategy. So only apply for new credit when you genuinely need it, right? That's important. That's something that I found out through time because I remember going way back, I used to apply for so many different type of applications, and then you wonder why you get denied because a lot of times lenders will look at how many inquiries and and how much how many people that you probably reached out to on your credit, and so you space out applications and avoid opening several new accounts in a short period. Okay. So again, it signals financial stress to lenders. So remember that. So now you know what controls your score. Okay. So remember, number one, your payment history is your 35%. Your credit utilization is 30%. The length of history is your 15%. The credit mix is 10%, and new credit is 10%. So when you pull your credit, identify which factors need the most attention. Start making target improvements, small and consistent actions to add up to a dramatically better score over time. I appreciate you guys for watching this short video. I hope it wasn't too long. Again, my name is RJ. If you want to, like and subscribe, okay, so you can follow for more. Me being a new person that's out here that's sharing my journey, I feel like it's important to be honest during your journey because a lot of times you'll see a lot of people sharing videos, but they're not really telling you the truth of what they've been through. And I'm sharing that real journey with you. But until then, you guys take care, and I hope to see you guys